Welcome to the Female VC Lab podcast. We are podcasting from the 25th annual Global Milken Conference. And so we want to thank Milken for that. But in this moment, I have Irene from IDB Lab. Irene, in one line, give me your name, your title, and the name of your fund.
Hi, Barbara. Great to be here. Irene Arias, and I'm the CEO of IDB Lab, the innovation laboratory of the Inter-American Development Bank. And we do fund of funds and also invest in startups across Latin America and the Caribbean.
What inspired you to become an investor, and what was your journey to becoming an investor?
So I spent most of my career, the prior 25 years, doing more corporate finance and development finance, but through traditional financial institutions, infrastructure projects. And you could already see, of course, the emergence of new models, entrepreneurs. And I thought there is only one way we're going to solve the challenges in emerging economies, especially in Latin America and the Caribbean. And that's through innovation. That's through using technology as a tool to disrupt and use creative disruption to give people better lives. And found an opportunity at IDB Lab because that's exactly the mission. It's using innovation for inclusion by supporting with finance, with knowledge, and with connections entrepreneurs across the region that are really changing people's lives.
That's so wonderful. So you talked a little bit about your thesis, how you helped companies, but can you tell me kind of the impetus or the motivation behind why you do what you do?
I always care about helping others, and I find I also love finance. This is a great way of combining both things because I think supporting entrepreneurs, it's a very effective way of helping others in a creative way and using finance at scale, because very little money can go a very long way. Sometimes we've done seed rounds less than $500,000, and these companies are part of the new economy, and they're becoming now giants that are solving massive inequality gaps in the region, massive inefficiencies, and in the end, having an opportunity to help people have more opportunities.
So here's an extra question that I wasn't planning on asking, but while I have you here, the region of the Caribbean and Latin America, are you guys industry agnostic? Do you have a focus on kind of the things you look at in that area?
We touch primarily fintech and general financial services, not just through fintech, because most of the financial services are actually coming out of embedded financial services in other places, in logistics and other sectors, but generally sort of financial services, education and health, and also agri-tech and biotechnology, and finally infrastructure services like connectivity and some of those essential things that are very important to make sure that a lot of these tech plays actually can reach the people that need them the most, and that the models, for example, in digital health, are easy to use, affordable, and accessible for people who traditionally may not have had that coverage.
Thank you for clarifying that. What are you currently learning or listening to or reading these days?
I learned a lot by listening to the journeys of entrepreneurs and how actually more and more they are becoming investors in other entrepreneurs, and how they're focusing on understanding, like very well to begin with, the problems. For example, Frete, a company in Brazil that disrupted the trucking sector, and they're the second trucking service company in the world today. Learning that journey and listening to podcasts and to interviews of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs that have become investors and are great mentors to new generations of entrepreneurs is a great way of learning. I listen a lot to Tim Ferriss and podcast by Tim Ferriss. And I like reading sort of a variety of books, from biographies and to more literature, even poetry, and a wide range. But the one that I'm currently reading is called Essentialism. I think we can get very caught up in in our own world and forget the basics. And it's a great book for that. It's a good reminder.
Thank you. Wow, that's very great. I have a bonus question. In 2 years, how do you see what you're doing having changed or evolved? How will it be different?
It would be even more collaborative. I think it would be even more of a federated model of financing venture capital, not only just traditional structures, but more open finance platforms that make venture finance available to many more entrepreneurs. And it's also probably going to be far more global and across industries and lines across segments that were traditionally very cut off, like venture capital versus private equity and capital markets, becoming much more kind of blurred lines.
Thank you. How do people contact you?
Easy to reach, quite active on LinkedIn, Twitter, and of course, just shooting an email as well. At irenear@iadb.org. So looking forward to hearing from folks.
Thank you so much, Irene Arias from IDB Lab, for being my guest on the Female VC Lab podcast from the 25th Global Milken Conference.
Thank you, Barbara. It's been great meeting you.